Hello, everyone. Today is Erev Rosh Hashanah. It's a Rosh Hashanah Eve. Tonight, the Rosh Hashanah will start. The year will end. 5780 will end, and a new year will start. 5781, 5781, 81st year. And tonight also Shabbat. Tonight is Shabbat, and tomorrow is Motzei Shabbat. Tomorrow night is Motzei Shabbat. So Rosh Hashanah we keep 2 days. Tonight is the first night, and tomorrow night is the second night. Tonight we make a special seder, like simanim. We eat certain simanim, like it says in our Chazal tell us that everything that we do on the Rosh Hashanah has an effect for the whole entire year, and therefore we eat certain type of fruits, certain type of vegetables, so we should have a good year. And of course we want a year to be blessed, and it should be meaningful with a lot of health and wealth, and of course with a lot of Yirat Shamayim and on. Of course, on this day, on the Rosh Hashanah, we should try utmost, our best, not to get angry. This is very, very important. Like we said, that when a person does something, it has effect for the whole year. So not to get angry, not to lose yourself, to have a control, not to waste time on Rosh Hashanah. It's a holy day, not to waste it on nonsense. Like we know, like people have, like everybody knows that on Rosh Hashanah you're not allowed to sleep, or you shouldn't sleep. It's not that you're not allowed to sleep. Of course you're allowed to sleep, but during the day a person should try not to sleep. But let's say a person is going to say, okay, I'm not going to sleep, but I'm going to sit and chat with my friend. I would go and play cards. I just want to lay on my bed, do nothing. So then that is considered to be like he slept. It's like it really means nothing. So what should he do? He should read Tehillim. He should learn Torah. He should get a Chumash. He should learn Gemara, Chumash, Mishnah. If he cannot do all that, so read Tehillim. Read Tehillim. There's a whole thing to read Tehillim, to finish a whole Tehillim. Listen, it's a day. Rosh Hashanah is the day when our life is decided. What will be with our lives? Everything will be decided on Rosh Hashanah. So therefore, if someone is in danger, what does he do? He reads Tehillim, because you don't know what will happen to you. So it's a good thing to read Tehillim on Rosh Hashanah and not to waste time. Now this year, Rosh Hashanah is a special year because first day is Shabbat and the second day is Sunday, and on Shabbat we do not blow shofar. On Shabbat we do not blow shofar. Now, according to the Torah law, there's no prohibition to blow shofar. However, rabbis they said that we should not blow shofar on the first day of Rosh Hashanah if it falls on Shabbat. Why? Because a person might carry shofar outside, in a place where there is no eruv, and then we might come to sin. So now we know that shofar is a very powerful thing. It's a thing that, meaning a shofar, helps us to be, to rip all the decrees in the heaven. It helps us to go against Satan. It helps us in many, many ways. But what will be this year? This year we don't have shofar, on the first day of Rosh Hashanah. Yeah, we're going to have on the second day, but on the first day we don't have. So one of the Mefarshim, one of the commentaries, Aruch Laner, he says very interesting thing. He says, if you look, he says he looked into the history, and he says the years when the shofar, when Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbat, the first day Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbat, and we do not blow shofar on that day, it's that year. It's either very good year, or Chas v'Shalom, if we don't blow shofar on that year, on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, then it could Chas v'Shalom be a bad year. like very bad year. So like, why is it like this? Why is it like this? So Aruch LaNer gives a very interesting mashal, and he says like this. He says, there was a king. There was a king, and someone, a certain person, he went against the king. Now he cheated the system. He made a lot of terrible things that, crime. He did a lot of crime that went against the king's laws. And the king, they caught the person, and they wanted to give him terrible judgment. However, this man had a wife, and the wife tells, she knew the king because she grew up with the king. When they were children, they used to play together, and they knew each other. They used to, they knew each other they knew each other when they were young. And she comes to the palace, and she comes over to the king, and she says, "Please, my king," and of course she dresses up nicely, and she says, "Please, my king, remember me. We used to play together when we were kids. Do you remember me? We were so." So and the king says, "Yeah, yes, of course I remember you. How are you? How is everything?" She says, "Yes, everything is great. But however," she says, "my husband is the person who made that crime. Can you please forgive him? Please forgive him. Please let him go. Please don't punish him." So the king looks at her and he says, "Okay," he says, "because I know you, because of you, I will not punish him. I will not punish him, and I will let him go." Okay, the man goes off the hook, and he does not get any punishment. Everything is great. Now there was another person online, and he heard what happened. He heard that the person was let go. He was that he was let go of his crimes because of his wife, because the king knew his wife. So he says, "Wow," he says, "I know that my wife also grew up with the king when she was a kid. When she was a child, she used to play with the king." So he goes and the second person, he also had a crime against the king, and the king was supposed to judge him the next day. So he tells his wife, "Listen," he says, he tells her, "Listen, I know that you grew up with the king when you were a child. You used to play together. Maybe you will go to the king and speak for me, and you'll say good things about me, and beg him that he should forgive me." So the wife says, "Yes, of course, I'll do." This is the wife of the second person. So she also dresses up nicely. She comes to the court, to the king, on the next day, to speak for the sake of her husband, of the second person who also did a crime. So she comes and she says, "Hello, king. Do you remember me? We used to play together. When we were children. You remember we used to play together?" And he says, yes, of course I remember you." But he tells her, "But one second. Before you continue," he says, "before you continue, can you tell me what's this blue mark on your face? Why do you have a blue mark on your cheek?" So she says, "My husband, he works very hard, but when sometimes he comes home, he gets all his anger on me. And, he smacks me here or there. He smacks me." So he asks her, "So what do you want?" So she says, "Can you please forgive my husband for the sake of me, because you know me?" He says, no way." He says, "No way. This is how he treats you? This is how your husband treats you? I'm not going to forgive your husband. Your husband is not going to be forgiven. No way. If this is how he treats you." And then he lets her go. Now, this is a mashal. What's the nimshal? The nimshal is like this. Shabbat is the queen. Shabbat Shabbat is married to us, to a Jewish nation. And we have, since we went against Hashem, we did averot. So we come to Hashem. It's Rosh Hashanah is coming up. So we're going to come in front of Hashem. Hashem is going to judge us on Rosh Hashanah. So Hashem's going to, so we want Shabbat. Yeah, today is Shabbat. Tonight will be Shabbat. We want Shabbat to come up and to speak up for us. But the king is going to look at Shabbat, and the king is going to say, and if Shabbat, yeah, our queen, our wife, if she looks beautiful, if she looks nice, which means we kept Shabbat, we will shomer Shabbat, we made sure Shabbat was not desecrated. So then he says, yes, of course, I'll forgive the Jewish nation for all of their sins. Why? Because you look, they, because I know you, Shabbat. Of course, I'll forgive the Jewish nation, and absolutely, I'll give them the best year. I'll give them a very good year. But however, if Hashem comes, if the Shabbat comes in, and it's and Shabbat is all bruised up, why? Because Jewish people did not keep Shabbat, did not take care of the Shabbat. So then Hashem's going to say, what? You want me, you Shabbat, you came to speak for the Jewish nation. You want me to forgive them? How am I going to forgive them? You all bruised up. They don't take care of you. So Hashem's not going to forgive them. Opposite, all the sins will be there. There'll be no one there to speak for us. There's no shofar, there's no Shabbat. And chas v'shalom, that year could be a terrible year. So it's all in our hands. It's all in our hands. How are we going to, what kind of year we're going to have? Are we going to have a wonderful year? So then we have to start keeping Shabbat. This coming up Shabbat, today, we have to start keeping Shabbat, or even if we did not keep Shabbat yet, we should accept upon ourselves to start keeping Shabbat. Or those who do keep Shabbat, maybe to take upon themselves to start learning the laws of Shabbat. Every day, every Shabbat, or every Shabbat, to learn 2 or 3 laws. And like this, we'll be at the end, after a few weeks, after a few months, we'll be able to know so many laws that we did not know. And we'll see how we were, because we didn't know the laws, we were desecrating Shabbat instead of keeping Shabbat. So if we accept upon ourselves to start learning the laws of Shabbat, to start keeping Shabbat much better, of course Hashem will see that Hashem will listen to Shabbat, and of course Hashem will give us a wonderful, wonderful year. I wish everyone a wonderful year, that this year 5780 should finish with all its curses, with all its problems, and it should not, and 5781 Tafshin Pei Aleph should be a wonderful year for all Jewish nation. It should be the best year for all Jewish nation and for the whole world. It should be the best year. Bezrat Hashem should send Mashiach Tzidkenu this year, this coming up year, and all of us, we should be written in the book of life, in the book of Tzaddikim, the whole Jewish nation. Thank you. Shana Tova.